A lot of people do not realize that GameStop started selling retro video games again. I get a lot of comments on my videos where people are like, man, you're so lucky because your GameStop still sell Xbox 360 games or PlayStation 2 games. And I'm like, most of them do now. You just don't know about it. And the reason you might not know about it is because most GameStops that I have seen do not keep their retro video games out on the floor. In fact, what they do is they take all of these retro games and they keep them behind the counter in their drawers, and you actually have to go up to the counter and ask the sales associate if you can see a list of their retro video games that they have in stock. And the reason I even knew to ask about this was because I saw other fellow content creators on YouTube talk about, well, my GameStop has retro games. And I would go into my GameStops all over my city and I would never see any retro games out. So I just asked, I said, hey, I saw online GameStop is carrying retro again, and where are they? Here's the thing. I'm going to tell you right now that GameStop might get a lot of crap, and there's a lot of things I don't agree with. I'm going to tell you right now that GameStop does a lot of things that I don't agree with, and I don't always shop there. But one thing I will tell you is if you're a collector of retro video games, do not sleep on GameStop. So I'm going to tell you a story. It was literally yesterday at the time of filming this video. So it was on Sunday. Today is Monday. And the story goes like this. I got a bunch of PlayStation 1 games for nothing. And I'm going to explain how I did that. So if you like retro video games and you're a collector or even a reseller or whatever, and you just like nostalgia and video games and all that stuff, you're in the right place. And I hope you like stories because it's story time. And I just had to share this with you because this is literally one of the greatest finds or scores in collecting that I've ever had when it comes to video games. So yesterday on Sunday, I decided to go sell at my local flea market, and I had some extra junk around the house, some tools and things like that I wanted to take down there and see if I could make some extra cash. Now I know what you're thinking. You used the flea market money that you made to buy video games. Well, yes, some of it, but you're probably thinking, well, Rect, you had to buy those tools, so you did spend some money. No. So these tools that I had were actually a family member's tools, and they were getting rid of their stuff because they no longer wanted to store it in a storage unit. They didn't want to pay for a storage unit. And they pretty much were like, hey, if you want these tools or if you want to rummage through my storage unit, you could take whatever you want, sell it, take it to the flea market, whatever, and just keep the money. I just don't want to deal with it. I don't want to pay for the storage unit anymore, and you can make some money. I said, sure. So I drove down there like a couple weeks ago, loaded it up with some tools, brought it back to my house, and yesterday I went to the flea market and I sold about a little bit over $400 worth of stuff at the flea market. So the story goes like this. I'm at the flea market and I sell the tools, and my family comes and we walk around the flea market for a while and we hang out with my wife and my kids, and my parents even stop by because we love the flea market. We just love walking around. The flea market has some really good food, some really good music, cool people, like cool vibes. I just like going to the flea market. It's just fun for me. I don't typically sell at flea markets. I maybe do it once or twice a year when, the kids grow out of some stuff and, I got some extra junk around the house I want to get rid of and make some money. So anyway, we finish at the flea market. Okay. I got $400 in my pocket. That was mine. That I literally, I'm not out any money at all at this point. Okay. So these aren't tools that were mine that I had to sell, and I lost on them. So then me and my family decide, well, let's go to the mall and walk around the mall and kill some time. So me and my wife, my sister-in-law, and my kids, we decide we go to the mall, and my wife and sister-in-law and my son were in Hot Topic looking at clothes or whatever. And I take my daughter over to the GameStop that's in the mall. We go in there, and my daughter's looking at Switch games, and she's looking at toys and plushies and stuff like that. And I'm letting her pick stuff out. And I'm talking to the two ladies who were working behind the counter at GameStop. And I noticed on the back counter, there was a large stack of PlayStation 1 games. And again, I know that GameStop carries retro again, but even though they do carry retro, it's not very often you see a stack of PlayStation 1 games at a GameStop. So I asked him, I said, hey, can I take a look at the stack of PS1 games that you guys have on the counter? And they go, oh yeah, absolutely. And they were like, the funny thing is the person who brought them in was just here 30 minutes ago. Basically, the story goes like this, right? So the gentleman who brought all of these games in, these games belonged to his father, apparently, and his dad had passed away, unfortunately. And so the son was in town liquidating his dad's stuff, trying to sell his dad's house, basically tying up all the loose ends, after his father passed. And so he brought in a bunch of his dad's games to just sell off at GameStop. And I know a lot of people that are collectors, like, it breaks our heart to hear that, because when I tell you what I got and I explain things a little further, you're going to be like, God, they really got that guy. Basically, they said, yeah, you can take a look at the PlayStation 1 games, no problem. They said, we haven't even put the stickers on them yet, but they are in the system, obviously, because we had to take them in on trade. So they printed out a sheet for me, a sheet of paper. It had all the games that I was about to look at, and it had the prices next to them. So they start handing me the games, and I'm looking through the list, and I literally start shaking. Like, I know you guys are going to probably think, like, what a fucking weirdo. Like, why are you so hyped about games? If you're watching this video, chances are you're a fan of video games and you're a collector or a reseller or whatever, and this type of shit matters to you. I was literally shaking as I am reading the prices of what GameStop is charging for these games versus what they are worth according to price charting. Okay, so I have my price charting app out and I'm scanning the games, right? And my intention is to keep these games because from the list, like, I don't have any of these, and these are games that I want for my collection. They look really dope. So I'm literally, checking GameStop's price on the piece of paper and I'm scanning them into price charting. I am shaking. My wife walks in with my sister-in-law and my son, and she comes up to the counter, and I'm almost speechless as I'm looking through these games at the front counter. And my wife looks at me and she goes, what's going on? And I'm like, hold on, just give me a minute. I'm trying to figure some stuff out. I'm doing some numbers. And she goes, why are you whispering? Like, and I'm like, dude, I feel like I'm doing like some backdoor deal that I'm not supposed to be doing. Like I can't believe this is happening in a GameStop. So basically my wife is like, okay, well, we're going to go get some food. Come see us when you're done. And I'm like, fine, no problem. I got you. I'll explain everything when I leave. And so she leaves and I'm scanning these games and I'm like mind blown because yes, there are times, I will admit, if you're not familiar with GameStop and their retro games, there are times where they overprice games or they price them accordingly, right at market value according to price charting. But then there are the times like this where they severely underprice their games. And I'm going to give you a breakdown really quickly of what I picked up, what I paid versus what they're worth. And I hope you guys stick around for that because, again, these games, these are some good games. So let's go ahead. I'm going to go through the list really quick. But like I'm telling you guys, I couldn't give them my debit card any faster. Or actually, no, I paid cash, excuse me, because I used flea market money, right? Like, again, tools that weren't mine that were given to me from a family member who didn't want them. I sold them at the flea market. I then used that money, bought really underpriced games, and actually made money, even more money. You'll see in a second. Okay, so the very first game that I picked up, and I'm going in order based on price charting, guys. So I have the receipt right here, and I have price charting up on my phone. So the very first game we have is Medieval. So this is a 3D platformer where you play as like a little monster skeleton guy, killing other monsters and evil things. So I've never actually played Medieval, but this is it's a popular title. I know that there's a newer version on like PS4. And so I've always wanted to have this in my PS1 collection. So it was great to finally pick this up. So I paid for Medieval. Let me see. I paid $21 for this game. I paid $21. And mind you guys, just so I don't have to open up every single one, every single game that I bought was complete and the discs were minty. Whoever this gentleman's father was, he really was like a collector or like a gamer who took care of his games, like 100%. So I paid $21 for this. According to price charting, its value is $45. Okay, so over a double up on that. Next up, we picked up a copy of Gauntlet Legends. I love this game. This is my favorite Gauntlet, but I prefer it on the N64. But this is still, to get it on PlayStation 1, totally fine. It's one of my favorite games of all time. I love playing this with my dad and my brothers, like 4-player co-op. It's freaking awesome. This is actually my dream arcade machine, but that's another topic for another day. But I paid for Gauntlet Legends. I paid $8.72 for Gauntlet Legends. Okay. It price charts for $23.67. And I only paid under $9 for that game. All right, so next up, we picked up Monkey Magic. I don't know anything about this game, never even heard of it. It looks like a side-scrolling 2D platformer based on what I can see on the back. I paid for Monkey Magic $8.72, same as Gauntlet Legends. It price charts at $29.53. Next up, we got good old Spyro the Dragon. I have the Crash games, but I didn't have any Spyro games because I'm a loser. I get it, but like, had to get Spyro. And for Spyro the Dragon, I paid $8.72. Again, Spyro the Dragon price charts at $19.99, so it's a $20 game. I paid $8 or $9 for it. Okay, now we're starting to get into the heavies, okay? Next up, we picked up Chocobo Dungeon 2. Never heard of this game, but it's Final Fantasy related, so I had to get it. So for Chocobo Dungeon, I paid $21.82. It price charts for $80.56. Okay? I saved $60 pretty much on this game. $60 on Chocobo Dungeon 2. Again, all complete, you guys. Manual, minty disc, not a scratch on the discs. The cases are not cracked. They're not broken. These are gorgeous copies to go on the shelf in the collection, man. So we're going to keep going. There's more. There's more. Dragon Valor. Okay. When I saw the cover, I was like, this game has to be expensive. I mean, I don't know. It looks like an adventure, like RPG type game, which is great because I collect RPGs and I collect horror games. So this is Dragon Valor, fully complete, both discs. It's a 2-disc game. All right. So Dragon Valor, I paid $21.82. It price charts for $70. I paid $21. Okay, let's keep going. And by the way, guys, if you know any of these games, let me know down in the comments and what you think of them, okay? Next up, we picked up a copy of Juggernaut. Okay, this is a horror game, and it has all 3 discs. Again, fully complete, okay? So for Juggernaut, I paid $30.55. So I paid $30.55 for Juggernaut, and it price charts for $90.45. $90 for this game, and I paid $30. That's insane, guys. I saved $60 on this. If I would have bought this on like eBay or Mercari or from a retro mom and pop shop or whatever, like I saved $60 on that. That's insane to me. All right, next up, we picked up Resident Evil 2, the greatest hits. For Resident Evil, I paid $24.43, and it price charts for $45. So I paid $24, price charts for $45. All right, next up, we picked up Hearts of Darkness. Hearts of Darkness has 2 discs, and it's fully complete. And I paid $17.45 for this game, price charted at $35. So I paid $17, it's worth $35. That was a big come up. Now we're in the final 2, you guys. Okay, so these were big. These were big ones for me. This one has been on my list for a while. I'm so happy I got it. So I know exactly what I paid for this because I don't have to look at the receipt because this was like one that I've wanted for a long time. I picked up a copy of Vagrant Story. Again, fully complete, minty as hell. I paid $26 for this. $26. And this game price charts for $95. And I paid $26. Okay? Like, I was so happy to get this RPG. It's a Squaresoft game. I've wanted it for a while. I love my RPGs and I love my horror games. Like, and I know as a collector, you're probably like, man, you really picked the 2 worst genres to collect for because they're the most expensive. But man, I just have a special place in my heart for RPGs and for horror games. Like ever since I was a kid, I've loved them. So this is one I haven't played. So I was so happy to add this. This has been on my list for a while. And dude, $26 for Vagrant Story. Like, dude, seriously, like GameStop really came through on that one for me. This is like, out of all of these games, I'm not gonna lie, value aside, this was my favorite pickup. I'm not gonna lie to you, was to get a copy of Vagrant Story. But that is not the big one. This one blew my mind. When I scanned this game, you guys, this was literally the moment I started shaking because I couldn't believe the price versus what it was worth. And I even verified. I even went to eBay, Mercari, checked online. Like it's not just price chart. It's not a mistake on price charting's end. It's literally what this game is going for. In some cases, even higher than what price charting has it at. So the last game that I picked up, it's an RPG, and I believe it's a horror-themed RPG from what I was kind of reading about it, because I've never heard of this game. But that game is Shadow Tower. Now, this game looks really cool based on the back. It looks like it's an open-world RPG. It says it's got 7 different worlds you can explore with a bunch of weapons and armor, and it looks like Skyrim or an Elder Scrolls type game from this time period. So maybe like Elder Scrolls Daggerfall or Arena, you know what I mean? But looks phenomenal. I'm really excited to actually play this game and try it out. But guys, this was the big one that blew me away. I paid $80 for this game, 80. This game price charts, okay, at $296. I paid $80. It price charts for like $300. And some cases, if you look at the sold listings, there were some people who sold it for $350 or higher. Like, I could not believe that this game had that much value, guys. Like, I was blown away at this. I couldn't believe it. I never get finds like this. I never get scores like this for my collection, you guys. Like, I was shaking because I felt like really blessed in that moment for and to be so lucky. Like, and again, it never happens to me, but I was so grateful for this because these are going to go in my collection for me to play these games. I love my PlayStation 1 and I play them on my PS3. For those of you that don't know, all PS3 models, even the Slims, will play PS1 discs. Like, they just don't play, not all models play PS2, but your Slim will play PS1. So I have my PS3 hooked up I have 2 PS3s. I have one in the game room in here and one in my living room. And I'll pop these in and play these on my PS3. And I'm super excited about that, guys. But seriously, these games right here, I got all of these from GameStop. And you heard the prices. It's insane to me. I have the receipt right here from freaking GameStop. And it's freaking insane to me that I was able to score this type of find. So guys, the moral of this story is, and the reason I wanted to share this with you was because I want you to not sleep on GameStop. If you're a collector, go check out GameStop and go up to the counter and ask them, hey, do you have any PS1, Super Nintendo, NES, Genesis, Xbox, Xbox 360, PS3, PS2? Ask them and they will print you out a list of all the games they have in stock, if any, for that console. They have Wii U, DS, 3DS. They carry all of this stuff. They take it all in on trade and you get good deals on this stuff. You just saw, I paid a third of what the total value was for all of these games. And it saved me so much money. And I'm so happy about that. So I'm just trying to share it with you guys. Because again, I was getting so many comments on my videos when I would show other pickups from GameStop. Man, you're so lucky because your GameStop still carries old games. No, it's a nationwide thing. They sell them online on their online store, but those are harder to get because, it's online so people can see them and buy them right away. But go to your local GameStops all around your city. Be like, if whatever you collect for, hey, do you have any 360 games? Do you have any PS3 games? They'll print you a list. I picked up quite a bit of 360 games and PS3 games from going to GameStops recently. I've picked up some Wii games. I've picked up obviously PS1 and PS2 games. So guys, don't sleep on GameStop. Especially if you can, because these are considered used games. They're not in their own category. So if GameStop is running some type of special promotion, buy 2 used games, get a third free, that qualifies for retro games. So they're constantly doing special deals all the time. So last week, they were doing the 4 for 20 or 4 for 40. So you could have got a lot of these retro games for the 4 for 20 deal or the 4 for 40 deal. Like the Spyro the Dragon and the Magic Monkey and what was the other one? Magic Monkey, Spyro, Gauntlet Legends, right? Those were all priced at $9. So that would have been the 4 for 20. I would have just had to get one more $10 game or less. and that I could have got those 4 games for $20, guys. Like, so plan it out to where you go check out retro games while they're doing sales and like special promotional deals. And these games qualify no different than modern games. Dude, I'm just trying to help you guys out. Go to your local GameStop and really check it out. If you don't have mom and pop retro stores in your area, go check out GameStop, for real. Like, again, don't sleep on them, because you see what I got. And I have more stuff to show you in future videos. Like, I do a lot of short form content, a lot of shorts, and a lot of reels on Instagram and a lot of TikToks. So you'll see like the smaller videos I do where I'm showing, hey, these are the 5 360 games I picked up today, or these are the 5, PS3 games I picked up at GameStop, because I have 4 GameStops in my city. So, and I know all the people that work there. They're super cool. Like, the managers are super nice. The employees are super nice. Like we talk and BS about games all the time, and, retro games. So like it's a really good time. And like, yeah, dude, they hook it up. They're like, here's the list, dude. And like, you can use your points that you accumulate at GameStop to knock money off. If you're like a pro member, you get the $5 off a month coupon that knocks even more money off. Guys, I keep repeating myself, but you can really save some money on retro games. Again, some things are priced accordingly. Some things are a little overpriced. And then some things are like this. You never know what you're going to find. You never know what's going to walk in on a trade at a GameStop. So just on your way home one day, walk into one and see what you can find. Let me know down in the comments if you've ever found anything good at GameStop. I would love to hear about it. Those of you up in Canada, EB Games, right? You guys probably have GameStop too, but isn't it EB Games up there? But let me know if you guys have ever found anything. And guys, if you like videos like this where I can share and show you guys tips and tricks on how to save money retro collecting and hunting videos, let me know down in the comments if you enjoy that kind of stuff, and hit the like button, subscribe. We're on our way to 10,000 subscribers. We're so close, guys. We're like 1,400 subscribers away. So thank you guys so much for watching the video. I appreciate it. I rambled on a little bit, but I was so excited, you guys, to find this score for my collection. That this, again, never happens to me. So I feel really blessed and really grateful that I just got lucky. I really got lucky. And here's the last thing I'll leave you with. Like, think about this, right? Like, for example, you take a game like Vagrant Story, okay? Like, okay, so Vagrant Story, they charged me $26 for this. What do you think that they gave that poor guy in a trade? Like, they probably gave him like under $10 for this game on a trade, right? Like $5 or $10, they're selling it for 26, right? This game right here, it was $80, right? They probably gave him 20 or $30 in trade on this. It's a $300 game. You know what I mean? Like Resident Evil, I paid $24 for this. They probably gave him $5 or $10. So like, dude, it's insane. Like, I paid $30 for this. They probably gave him $10. This game probably $10. Like, a lot of these games I paid $20 for, and they probably gave him $5 or $10 a game, which is insane to me, because the total value, according to price charting, is around $830 for all of these games. Now, I obviously didn't pay anywhere near that, because my wife would kill me, and I don't tend to spend that much all at one time on video games. But yeah, price charting says they're worth about $830, give or take. The market fluctuates. So yeah, they hosed that poor guy. But again, some people don't care. Some people just want to get rid of stuff, or some people just don't know. So I feel like he got waxed, but then I came in and I waxed GameStop, dude. And I scored a bunch of awesome games. But anyway, guys, you have a great rest of your day, and we will talk again really soon. Thank you guys for watching the video. Have a good night.